I want to challenge each one of us that you will not only be swept away by what people have achieved. Don't look at them and you feel, I don't think I can ever be like them. But I want you to know that before you achieve any success, there is hard work. There are stories that are untold. Before you are rewarded in public, there must be some work you have to do in the private. Hello, my family members right over there. These days I call you my family members because some of you have really become part of me. I meet you on the way and you tell me how you have been watching. I appreciate. For the ones that have just seen this and they just tapped and they found me talking, just feel at home. In this home, we are learning how to be unique, how to dig out our uniqueness, how to live in a special way. Because indeed, as God was creating us, He created us in special ways. And we are on this planet Earth to do different things and in a unique manner. So if you are a new member, feel at home. The old members in the house, I know you already have a corner where you sit. Just grab that chair and sit in our home as we celebrate our unique place. This day, we are going to talk about something very unique, and it's the truth that sometimes you don't want to listen to. The hurting truth, the truth that you want to run away from. In this home today, on this chat, on this platform, I want to share with you the truth, the knowledge that I discovered, and it gave me little peace. And so I said, I'm not going to lose my peace alone. And today I'm catching you. We are going to think about these words together. Because for me, when I learned this truth, I lost peace. And that's why at some point you see me coming, I want someone to also, if it is possible, lose peace because it is for your good. I want to read you a Bible verse before I continue. If you read Proverbs chapter 27 from verse 5 following, you will discover that the Bible says, open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Are you thinking about that verse? Imagine if a friend sits you down and tells you, man, everyone has been telling you you're smart, but can you check your eye? Something is here. You can't believe it that you have been with people all day long and something is in your eye. No one is telling you the open rebuke, even when it is quite open like that. That is to begin with. There are times when you find yourself struggling with mannerism, and everyone fears to tell you that. But it will take only a friend to put you aside and say, you girl, you woman, you gentleman, why do you always do like this all the time? That is an open rebuke. Everyone else could have been seeing you, but it only takes a friend to put you aside and say, man, woman, look here, let's adjust this. And so sometimes we want to run away from the reality, we want to run away from the truth, but the truth will always catch up with us. Have you ever come across the phrase that ignorance does not stop the law? Your ignorance, you cannot say, I killed this person, I didn't know it was wrong, I didn't know it was against the law. And you think they will not take you behind the bars. That's a joke. They will still take you. So don't say, I didn't know when you do this, this is what happens. The Bible itself says that my people perish because they lack wisdom, they lack understanding. And I don't want anyone in this home, in this family, on this platform of dig out your uniqueness to be there and you don't know about the best truth. Actually, it's like the public secret that everyone must know. So for me, there are certain things I came around, I discovered, and I say, I will not keep silent. Whether it hurts you or not, it is for your benefit to know and understand this. I want to just share with you these 5 secrets that you need to know. It's urgent information that you need to know at the back of your mind. And for me, number 1, that I appreciate is everyone in this life, you want it or not, you will always have your ups and downs. Just know it from me. I don't know which stage you are at as I talk right now, but I want you to know and appreciate that as long as you are still on this planet Earth, not in heaven, you will have a day when you are high, 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 high. You're happy, you are jolly, you have strength, and also there is always going to be a moment when you are down. You cannot avoid it. You cannot run away from it. That's the reality of life. You must know that. And so, why must you know that? I want to encourage you. Actually, recently I shared a whole video about this very phrase that you will always have the ups and downs. But I want to warn you that when the down time comes, you will not be swept away. You will not be there complaining, compromising, thinking I can never come out. Just know it is a season, my dear friend. It is a season, and be ready to know my time of being down is now, but be warming up for the time of ups. I don't want to discuss more about the time of grief or being down or losing a person that can push you down. But I want to encourage you that anytime you see a moment of being happy, please don't waste any time to celebrate. Are you looking for the opportunities right now? Please do look for opportunities to celebrate, to love yourself, to go out and do the things you like, for as long as they are not against God, they are not against the society. Please enjoy yourself. That is something you need to know and keep it at the very back of your mind, that for as long as I am in this world, I'm going to have ups and downs. So as a unique individual, already be ahead of the plan and know I will always bounce back like this in case I have difficult moments. And something else, number 2, I want to talk about related to the first one is there are always different times and seasons and phases in life. I want you to appreciate, my dear friends, right there, that there is always a time and a season for everything. You know, there is a thing that really happens to us. Sometimes you really know that truth, but we forget. And so I always want to remind myself, but again, I want also to remind you about times and seasons. You people, I always forget. Myself, I forget. But I catch myself faster. I am reminded faster that indeed there are times and seasons of my life. It is very bad, very sad if you forget that there are times and seasons in life. That's why the Bible says there is time for everything. Time to sleep, time to wake up. Time to plant, time to harvest. It becomes so absurd when you want to harvest even before you plant. That means you're jumping steps. Before you do something, there must be another step you have to take first. The other day, when I had just discovered social media and the different things they were teaching, this phrase used to disturb me a lot. That everyone in this world has 24 hours. I'm like, some people are achieving way much compared to others, much more than what others are producing. And I kept on wondering, you mean people like John Maxwell, who moves like, because you find people have time to travel, time to teach others, time to do business, time to invest, time to preach, those who are preachers. And for example, in Anglican faith, I always look at the work bishops have to do. You find a bishop has to visit, I can't even count how many churches they visit. They visit churches, then they have their personal lives to live, then they have their homes to take care of, then they have to take care of their pastors under them. I am like, how many people live in a bishop, for example? Hmm? Do you have some people you look at and wonder how they actually manage, who they manage to do? And so in my mind, I was like, I know it's true everyone has 24 hours a day, but some people are way much more blessed than others on how they use the 24 hours. And it was disturbing me so much that someone can use their 24 hours. Actually, of course, the 24 hours, there is time for resting, time for exercise, time for eating, time for outing, time for many things, according to the different schedules that people come out with. But imagine another person in the 24 hours. You can find they are only using the 24 hours to do only one activity, or maybe two. And that is maybe sleeping and then eating. Eh, I feel sad on how we are cheated, especially if we don't remember that we share the same amount of time with those people we admire. Sometimes you get questions like, how did they manage to study that course? How did they manage to take care of those children? And I appreciated the truth about this, especially when I was doing my master's in the last years, like about last 2, 3, 4 years. That was a time in my life I realized, by the way, things are possible. For as long as you come out with schedules, you can enjoy every season of your life. Because I always wonder even how I did it. It taught me that things are possible. That I would just wake up. I remember I have to do courseworks. Assignments were this huge. I had to do assignments. Professors were always there waiting for me to go and present what I researched. And I have to discuss, you have to present, you have to take the criticisms. And even when you're still doing that, personally, when I was in that season, I was a mother, breastfeeding. There are some who just need porridge, others need breast milk, others are pulling me, mommy, come and first do this. And as I was mothering them, I was still a wife. Yeah, the children are pulling you, come and do this, mommy, come and do that. Before you know it, even him is coming from work and he needs your care. You have to go and say, welcome back, Seb. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Hey, white puppy, my styles. Okay. Yeah, so you have to be there as a wife, be there as a mother, be there as a student, be there as a worker, because still I was doing my business of designing ladies. I had to sell my clothes to the customers. So you are still there, you have assignments, you have. So throughout the day, you would find yourself doing quite a lot. That's the time I sat down, I'm like, there are many mothers there suffering. They don't know how to balance. They don't know how to create time for anything. And so someone thinks, I would have gone to study this post, but I don't have time. I would have gone to visit this person, but I don't have time. I would have gone to church, but I don't have time. I would have prayed, but I don't have time. I want to alert you that we have the same time. That is 7 days in the week, 24 hours a day. How many days in a year? You know them. If you don't know, go and research. They are the same. So instead of simply being there to admire others, why can't you start moving towards your season? Why can't you allocate time to do the things that you like? Why are you leaving your relationships to die? Yet you can create time to see the people you love. We have the same time. And so let's enjoy every time, every season with wisdom. So the third point that I discovered and gave me little p is that you must set your priorities right. Actually, it is building from the last point I've just shared of. We have different times and different seasons. And I discovered that why we look at these people and we keep wondering, how does this lady really do it? How can you be a mother, for example, like the example I've just given? You be a mother, you be a wife, you be a student, you're working. How do you ever do such things? I realized that even when you're doing all those things, you have to set your priorities right. For example, you can't say, I am a student, I am working, and then you ignore the baby who wants breast milk. You're not setting the baby as a priority. And yet, many other problems can build up. So What do you want first? Everything can be laid bare before you, but what do you want first? You will discover that even if people are rich and they have everything they want, relationships is a major thing they always sometimes forget to invest in. And at some point, we have seen that people who ignore their relationships come out and regret later in life. For example, if you ignore your role as a parent, you will enjoy, yes, you will work your money, you will do everything you want, you will go out. But if you have produced children and you neglect taking care of them, you're not setting your priorities right. Because remember, children have some age whereby if they have bypassed it, in my language, you have a saying that akati kinikwa kachiri kabisi. For you who are international, I'm simply saying that if you want a tree to be bending in a way, you don't want a straight tree. You have to bend it when it is still growing, when it is still young. But if you have seen a big tree, it has already grown and you want to bend it to a certain corner, before you know it, it will be breaking. And so even as we want to do everything, let's learn to set our priorities right. Know that I want to study, I want to do everything. Make the list. But even as you're making the list, I will begin with this, and then this, and then this. Allocate the time very well. The day I learned that, yes, I can do everything, but I also mind how much time goes to each activity. Number 4, I discovered this and I told you, I've been cheating myself. Number 4 is your mind can grow, your mind can be stretched. I have had many coaches when they are teaching us and they say, your mind is like a muscle. The more you stretch it, the longer or the wider or the bigger it becomes. Wow. Did you know that your mind is like a computer? And when I first heard about that, I'm like, computer? Computer that has so many folders, computer that can create so many things, computer that can hide many. The computer will remember that here there is the bin, here there are archives, here there is inbox, here there are, like, this is an empty folder, this is a full folder. And someone was challenging us that our mind is actually like a computer. I'm like, you mean I have such a great investment on my head, on my body? But I want us to really test that together. If, for example, you're 40 years, do you know that right now, if you keep quiet, let's try to keep quiet, and you look at something you wrote in your journal, say 20 years back, if you are keen enough, you will remember on such and such a day when I noted down this, it had rained on that day, for example. You will remember these people had come to visit us, for example. You will remember that day we had eaten this, if you are very keen enough, even when you didn't note it down. But just a simple reminder will cause you to remember things that happened to you 20 years back. Do you know that our mothers, even some of them who never went to school, because their memory, their mind can keep, especially the things that matter so much to them, they can tell you how they produced each of their 9 or 14 children. They can tell, on that day I was very hungry, on that day I was going to the garden, on that day when someone was passing. Ever get that woman who is even older, you will find that they can still trace something that happened long time ago. And so it pained me to know that sometimes, actually all the time, almost all the time, we underwork the brain, we underwork our mind. You keep thinking, I want to only know what I know. For example, you are a Christian. If they ask you, tell us 10 memory verses in the Bible, you scratch your head, you scratch your left and right. You can only maybe remember 2, if you are lucky enough. Number 1, for God so loved the world. You might not even know how to say all of it. Imagine you can store 100 memory verses, but you only have 1 verse. Or you have no verse. Do you know that those people, our parents, for example, my father, I always like to use that example because it's a big challenge. He will tell you that mathematical multiplication table. 1 times 1, wow, wow, wow. 2 times 2, 4. He can tell you from 2 even up to 100. But you ask us who have studied later, because we have not been taught to memorize that. Oh, you will just ask someone 5 times 15 equals what? Ah, yeah. First, give me calculator. Where's the phone? Give me where's computer? Because in a way we have been really tamed to know there is Khalid, there is the phone, there is no need. And so at some point we think if someone tells you it is possible to know that mathematical table in your head, you feel like it is impossible, it is very difficult, it cannot be done. Do you know that because we don't exercise our memory, our mind, sometimes we miss out business opportunities? You would have done such and such business, but you are even limited of thinking. You can't scratch your mind any longer. And how I pray that each one of us will work at developing our brain each day that passes by. If there is a seminar and you can manage paying for that seminar, please go. There are other free seminars but have value. Even on social media, there is a lot that we can learn. Please exercise your mind. Exercise your mind. What do you want to do? You can do it. I believe you can do it. And then the last one, number 5 that I'm talking about, the information I got to know and it challenged me was that the people I so much admire, say Joyce Meyer, Terry, Savelle Foy, Manuela Mlondo, Aunt Mabel Twinamasco, same my husband, Reverend Anthony Kamkama. Sometimes when you hear their stories, you're like, wow, they have been through a lot. I wish I can be like them. But I want you to know that behind every successful story, there are some pains. There are other hidden stories that you as a viewer, you might not even know. And so I want to challenge each one of us that you will not only be swept away by what people have achieved. Don't look at them and you feel, I don't think I can ever be like them. Sometimes even you go ahead and hate them, and maybe you think they are just showing off. Sometimes when they are sharing their stories, and maybe you think they achieved it because it was so easy, it was so simple. But I want you to know that before you achieve any success, there is hard work. There are stories that are untold. One of the people that I like is Terry, who told me that before you are rewarded in public, there must be some work you have to do in the private. So people will see you on that stage and you're shining and they're like, it's been all easy for you. But in your back of your mind, you will know, I have worked. I have put in energy. And so on our way to uniqueness, let's appreciate especially people who have achieved what we so much desire to achieve. And also let's know that if they made it, we can as well make it. And if you're seeing people who are being appreciated, say a wife and the husband is coming to say, my darling, my sweetheart, if it is really a genuine appreciation, never be there and you're saying, why are they showing off? I can never want a husband like that. Just thank God that they have reached that level. You never know. Maybe that woman had to endure a lot. That woman has been teaching the husband this and this. And so when they appreciate her in public, don't go. Just love them and share the love. Thank you so much for listening to this information. This is the information that I learned about and felt uneasy. And so I decided to share with you. If you can share it with a neighbor, it doesn't mean that whatever you know, everyone knows it. And so please, that simple word can help your sister, can help a brother to move on, to keep shining. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Don't just run away. Subscribe. We want many other people to know about this content and learn from it. Thank you and bye. See you next time.